Well, that's not gonna work. I was just trying to figure out how the heck we're gonna bring this product to market. Hey guys, in this video, we are going to literally walk through my timeline of how your product launch is gonna come together. If you have looked at the next 6 months and you're like, man, I don't know what comes first. Do I start selling? Do I design this product? Do I build my audience? I don't know when I'm supposed to do certain things. This video is really gonna help that. So let's go. If you're here because you are launching and scaling an e-commerce brand, now this is the place you want to be. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification so you don't miss a future video. Hey, I'm Khierstyn with Launch and Scale. On this channel, we help you with actionable strategies to not only validate new products, but launch products and scale them successfully to create a 7-8 figure brand off of Amazon. And I'm really excited because I feel like if you are watching this video, you probably have a lot of questions and a lot of anxiety around how the heck you're supposed to how everything's supposed to come together with your product launch. And if you don't know what you're supposed to do and when, and you're relieved and excited for this video, be sure to let me know below by saying yes in the comments. So the reason we put together this timeline was because when I was working with founder.com, helping them launch their coffee table book on Kickstarter, Nathan was just like, I just need a checklist. I need to know how things are supposed to come together so I can make sure our team knows what we have to do. And so it's because of Nathan Chan, big shout out, love what you guys are doing over at Founder. But it's because of Nathan that we had to systemize our launch timeline. And really now that's where this video is coming from on how everything does come together. So in this video, I'm gonna walk through our 10 steps to launching your product, and we do have a free launch field guide, checklist, printable calendar, all for free available below this video in the resource section. So if you're looking for something that's gonna help you put this into practice, we've put that together for you. So be sure to grab that. All right, so how do things come together? The very first step is you get an idea, and you're likely already past step one if you are on this channel watching this video. So step one is you get an idea, and there's at some point where you decide to pursue the idea. Step two is you validate the idea. There's something that you do through research, talking to a friend, competitive analysis, etc. There is something that gets you to go from, well, that's a cool idea, to being serious about the idea. So step two in the process, before you even talk to manufacturers, before you even start marketing, is there's something that happens to get you to start to take the product seriously and think that it's a good investment of time and resources to do that. Step number 3 in the process is get a prototype, or at least start talking to a design firm or hire somebody off Fiverr to start to put together CAD drawings and renders of what this could look like. Because when you can take an idea out of here and put it into a visual, you're starting to make your idea come to life. And so you get the design out of your head, and you, at this point, will then want to start talking to design firms and getting pricing to see, okay, well, what is it going to cost to actually create a prototype? Is it even possible to do what I'm trying to do? So you want to validate the idea first with the market, and then design-wise. You don't want to be in a position, especially if you are bringing a new product to market, you don't want to be in a position where the feature or the product that you're looking to bring to market just isn't actually possible. Or if it is possible, you want to understand the scope to see if it's a piece of hardware, especially if you're doing hardware and not software, how much is it going to cost you to bring this product to market? So part of what you're doing in the first 3 phases is really getting an understanding of what is the scope, what is required to bring the product to market. So through step 1, you get an idea. Step 2, you have validated it through the market. You're like, okay, I know that this seems like something that's great. Number 3, get the prototype, and through the prototype, actually confirm that it's possible and how much it is going to cost to get done. Step number 4 is validate even more, okay? In previous videos on this channel, especially this one here, I talk about co-creating your product with your customer. So when you are in the design phase of your prototype, and you're going through multiple iterations of the prototype. And this happens because when you get a sample from a factory, it's likely not up to par, and you're going to have to go through 2 or 3 or even 4 rounds of prototyping. I've seen as many as up to 13 to get it right, depending on how intricate the design is. And what you're doing when you're going through prototyping stage is you want to be continuously validating the product design by co-creating it. So at this point, think beta testers, think friends and family, people within your niche that are actually going to play with the product and give you feedback. And when you do this, you know that the design that you're going to market with is validated as a product that people will not only buy, but will love because it has utility in their life, okay? Point number 5. So far we've talked about a lot on the design phase and having things come together. This is the most drawn out part of product design that can take up to a couple years that most people really overestimate. So this is where we then get into point number 5. So point number 5, at this point, you have a rough idea of your costs. You've already started talking to manufacturers to get quotes. You have a near final design, and you at this point want to start to get validation. And I've talked about validation at different stages of this. There are different types of validation you get at different stages of the game. The kind of validation we're looking for right now is you've invested the time into the prototype, you know this is possible, and your beta testers are pretty good. But now what you want to do is actually put this out into the market. So step 5 about getting a pre-commitment is the way that we validate products quickly is you want to put up a storefront or a landing page and actually take a commitment from customers. You want to ask people to put money down to reserve their product. You do this so that you can really get the conversation started with, okay, well, what is it going to take to get somebody to purchase? Okay. When you put up a storefront and you spend a couple grand driving traffic to it to honestly test the market to see if it sells on its own through cold traffic or people that don't know you, then you can see, well, if it worked, why did it work? If it didn't work, you can dig in and pivot and see if it's your messaging or your audience or some things that have to tweak in your marketing before you have something that has like mass market appeal. So in the first 5, it's a lot of in the weeds getting feedback. It's a very exciting time. At this point, we are getting into the marketing side. We're getting into the build. So if you like and resonate with some of these points, let me know in the comments below. Say, heck yeah, okay? Number 6, soft launch. So at this point, you are almost ready to press go on manufacturing. One thing that you may not have seen underneath this is if you are thinking, wait, this sounds backwards. I should get inventory first and then start to sell it, right? Actually, everything that we do on this channel with our business, with our clients, is all about our new model of launching products, which is all about sell before build. You don't want to, or I highly recommend that you don't bet the farm on a new product and buy a bunch of inventory on an unproven product. So what we're doing with the product launch process to make sure that you are hedging your bets in the right direction is you want to really sell before you build. So before you press go to buy inventory, you want to start taking orders from customers. You want to validate beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is something the market wants, okay? So that you're not stuck with 5,000 units of something that won't sell in your basement because nobody wants that, right? Constant reminder. So sell before build. When we get into the second half of this video, we are going for a soft launch. So it's really like I come from the Kickstarter world where everyone and their dog wants a 6-figure launch. They want to go big because they're like, man, if I raise 100K, that's going to tell my investors that we have a marketable, investable model, and the rest is gravy. And what I have seen from us launching multiple 6-figure products is that it's really hard in the beginning to have a 6-figure product launch. It requires you spending months building an audience, thousands of dollars, and in hopes that you have this big launch. And I'm actually a huge fan now of go slow. Slow is the new fast. So I believe in doing a soft launch model where, great example, we're working with a company out of Vancouver right now where we went through validating the product. We got it validated. Now we're doing a soft launch where they did a short run of 900 units. And our goal in 3 months is to treat it like an incubation period, where our goal in those 3 months is to treat it like a learning experience and to sell through those 900 products. Our goal in this 3 to 4 month incubation period is not to go mass scale. Our goal is to prove the market, identify who our customer is, and give us a strong foundation with which to then go to the moon, okay? So soft launch is slow. We love soft launch because it's less pressure. So think of getting your minimum order quantity from your manufacturer, whether that's like 100 journals, 500 supplements, whatever that is, focus on selling through version 1. And then what you do with that feedback is you get feedback, you iterate for product design, you iterate for flavor, for form, for function, whatnot, and then for version 2, you improve the product, okay? So doing a soft launch is awesome. Once you started to sell through, and honestly, I think that when you sell 5 to 10 units, that's good enough to press go on manufacturing, okay? So that brings me to point number 7. Press go on manufacturing. You want to absolutely place the order as quickly as possible, but also not too soon. So you, depending on marketing budget and other factors, like you may want to sell out a couple hundred units first. But in the beginning with a brand new product, that may take a while, and I don't want to see you lose the customers that you've already got. So I say that just pick a number and say, once we sell X amount, that's when you're going to put in the deposit for manufacturing and start the process, okay? So that brings me to point number 8, build your audience. The second you know we're doing this, start to get consistent. Start pitching influencers. Start building your email list. Start spreading connections on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Do a press release. Start to do things to build awareness for your product. Number 9 is sell out. When you sell out of that first inventory run, it's now time to work closely with your customers. Again, we're all about co-creation with your customers. Get some initial feedback, see what needs to be improved for round 2, and then place your next order. And then number 10 is start version 2. Continue building your brand, and it grows like that, okay? So every new product you want to bring to market, you want to do a rinse and repeat. Continue to do this. Continue to test. Steve Madden does this frequently. They're a $1 billion shoe empire, and Steve Madden has found a way to bring products to market quickly, but test them first. And what he does is his product team, or he gets an idea for a new design. He makes 10 versions of it in his shop quickly. And then on Saturday in a busy Manhattan store, him and his team, or just his team, will go and literally they'll stage these 10 styles to see if they're testing. And what they're doing is they're putting these styles out on the floor and seeing over a 4-hour period how many of them sell. And if they sell over 8 of 13 pairs, or 8 of 12 or 13 pairs, you can watch the Netflix documentary on it to be sure, but they have a certain critical mass that for shoes that pass that test, they then are safe bets to manufacture 10,000 units. Because if Steve Madden created a bunch of shoes on a hunch just because he's a shoe mogul and knows what will sell, if he just did a run of 10,000 units and shipped it out to stores across America with every design that he gets an idea for, they would lose so much money in R&D, because even Steve Madden and his team know that they can have duds. So they have a process to quickly put out new ideas, test them, get feedback, graduate some to market, and then iterate and shelve others, okay? So, and by shelve, I mean like get rid of those ideas. So what we can learn from Steve Madden, if he can do that at a $1 billion plus level every year to hedge his bets, to understand what products are in and what consumers are liking, we can absolutely do that too. With this. And so that's really the start to finish product launch model. We have covered a ton in this video. And as I mentioned, like, you've just learned how a successful product launch comes together. And since you stayed to the end, be sure to go grab our launch field guide and checklist so you can literally have a play-by-play as you go through this on your own. And apart from that, thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do if you are excited to launch and scale your product. And do that, and be sure to watch our next video. We'll see you soon.